Hi, everyone. My name is Ms. Turan. I'm the head teacher of Barattson courses, and today I will be recording training of how to use Speak Out Second Edition course book materials. So I will introduce you to each of them, and hopefully, if you're working with us, you will have access to all these resources. If you will have any questions at the end of this recording, I'm going to leave my contacts, my mail address, and my mail address, basically, not number. So please do not hesitate to reach me out. I'm going to close my camera for the time that I'll be recording this in order not to distract you. And so let's start it. Okay, let me go to the resources. So as you could see, please ignore the other resources that you see on the screen. Please focus with the ones that I'm showing you. So the Speak Out course book basically has all the levels, like it starts from starters and finishes with the advanced level. So today I will be showing you only one folder, which is basically all about pre-intermediate level. So let's get started. Now, maybe some of you are already familiar with the book itself. It has like a student book and the workbook. Let me just quickly show you this once, just in case if some of you haven't never seen the book before. So this is the Speak Out. You can see the content. Let me zoom it for you. So this is the content, and okay, let me just, yep. Yeah, that's much better. The book itself looks like this. The one that, by the way, let me warn you that the one that I'm showing you, it's all about second edition, because we got other editions on the cell. So your students, you should be using only the second edition. So let's take a look at the contents quickly. I don't know why it's not working. Here it is. Yeah. So the book actually covers all 4 skills, starting from grammar and function, ending with writing. So it covers all the sections that your students might need. Now, but let me warn you about something. What I found is that teachers mostly are using in their sessions only student and workbooks, and they believe that these are the only resources that they have for the book. But actually the book itself has so many useful things. You may not be aware of them, but they might help you not only to boost the skills of your students in each section, but also they'll help you to make your sessions a bit more interesting, colorful, and it will save you so much time giving assignments and other things. Now, the workbook, and I just want to tell you that student book and workbook were originally made for students' use, not for the teachers' use. So please keep it in your minds, because the book has teacher's book, the one that you'll be using as the main resource. And I hope that you'll be using it. Let me open it and show you why teacher's book is so important. Now let's go. Says, well, it has the introduction part, teacher's note part, resource bank, and etc., extra resources, tests. So teacher's book is your guide, the one that shows you what and how you should do in your sessions and during the whole course. So for example, it starts with student book contents. It explains and the overview of the contents. It tells you additional components, like you have workbook, my English lab, active teach, and websites. It gives all the websites you need. Speak Out extras. It talks about Speak Out extras. I'm going to introduce you to all the Speak Out extras that we have and how to use them. There are some resource banks like photocopyable activities, and there are additional resources like extra sheets, we call them, both for the grammar and vocabulary sections. You actually do not need to print out extra resources and bring to your lessons, because the book itself has all these resources. You may have sometimes to apply those resources, but what I found from my experience, the book, if you know how to use the teacher's book, or if you have all the resources in your hands, the book and the materials that we have will be more than enough. Now, the book also explains you how to use the assessment, the testing system. I'm going to talk about this part as well a bit later. Now, but I would like to show you the content of this teacher's book. So let me zoom it. And there it is. So I'm using, my computer is not that convenient for this. Okay, so it says Unit 1, feeling good. So this is the topic of Unit 1 from the student book, obviously. And we have grammar function part, question forms, free time, street words. The content of here that you see, it's identical to what you got in a student book. It's basically the same thing. And let's see about how to use the book itself. Now, let's imagine into the student book. No, we don't need this. Let me scroll a unit. So it starts here. But basically, first couple of pages explains you how to apply this, all these resources to your lessons. But I believe you want to be a bit free in this. So the book was made so that you really have to make a lesson plan for each session. So the authors of the book believe that you'll be using lesson planning. That's why the layout of the teacher's book was made accordingly, meaning normally the lesson plan starts by the warm-up section. It's the section that we usually, for 5-10 minutes, we say hi, hello to our students, and we get them involved in the teaching process and etc. And learning process, sorry. And then we have here, like over the book, you'll be able to see some teaching tips for each section. For example, for the warm-up section of Unit 1, life, that was the topic of that unit. We have this teaching tip. Let's read it together. While students work through speaking activities like this, monitor and note down any particular strengths and weaknesses, including how well they use the target language. This will help. So basically, it gives you some tips on how to start off your lesson and how to use every single resource. For example, if you have a vocabulary resource for this book, so how to use it. There are certain tips, even strategies, step by step. If it's the reading section, there's again a tip. It says, first, introduce the text and check the rubric. Give students 2-3 minutes to read the text. They then listen, discuss their answers in pairs, small groups, and etc. So I'm going to have another training, not on this recording. Later on, I'm going to show you how to teach one unit from beginning till the end. I mean, one lesson. In that, I'll show you it more in more details. But right now, I'm showing you how to use just only teacher's resource book. So here, it tells you basically what to do with the reading resource in case if you don't know how to actually use these resources in your lesson. And it gives you a certain tip if it's necessary. The aim of strict time limits is to encourage students to skim the text. So because sometimes teachers, they give the text, but they don't limit them students with the time, which ends up like almost half of the session. They are just students, they're just reading the text or translating, and they wasting basically the lesson time, which is not effective. Now, for the grammar section, it also gives some tips. So every single topic that you have, every single section that you have for each unit, you got some tips on this. Apart from this, you can see here supplementary materials. The book has a guide. Basically, it tells you for this unit which resource bank you should use, and it indicates the page, appropriate page of that resource. So I hope that you'll have time to take a look at this, so it will be very handy. Then even for homework, it gives you tips what exactly you should give from which resource. So trust me, if you'll be using this resource, it will save you so much time in both ways, like in order to how to conduct your sessions, plus it'll help you to give your home assignments quite fast and make it help. I mean, it will help you to make your lessons a bit more interesting and effective. Now let's go over the resources, other resources or supplementary resources that we call for the book, step by step. So I'm going to open the first folder. I'll explain what is it, how to use it, and when to use it, etc. So this one, now let's not start with this. First of all, I would like to talk about vocabulary. So let's cover this section and then we'll move on to grammar and other parts. Now, for the vocabulary part of the book, we got this folder. This is the Excel. It says speak out pre-intermediate word list. So here, that's the Excel file. If you want, you can add something to it if you want to, because here you got, like, let me see, for pre-intermediate, we got 527 words together with their pronunciation, the page, reference, and at the same time, the definition for each word. So quite handy if you want to know which words your student will cover during the whole course. Now, apart from this, for the vocabulary, we also have this resource. This one is very useful for the teachers who are teaching students of different nationalities. For example, let's say you have students from Germany, Italy, France, and other countries. So basically, this file contains not only the definition and examples for each word, but it also has translation of the same word into 4 languages, which is German, Italian, French, and Dutch. So if you have students from these nationalities, will be very useful for you guys. Now, let's move on. So, but that's not the end for the vocabulary part, because we have extras for the vocabulary. Let me find, where was that? I believe it's this one. Yeah, here it is. For every unit, you have extra vocabulary material. So it starts in this specific level, which is pre-intermediate. It starts from pre-intermediate unit 1 and finish with unit 2. Let me show you one of them. So these are extra papers. So if you want to do some extra exercises on the vocabulary that you learned during the lesson, so these are the resources for them. So some matching exercises, you got gap filling exercises, and conversation ideas and topics, how they can use them. We call them function, language, and stuff. So yeah, so this is one of them. And then they give you other vocabulary related to that topic. There are some puzzles. Even at some of them, you may get games and activities. So it will be very useful resource, I believe, for each of you. Now let's go back to that folder again. And unfortunately, I need to click on each of them over and over again and go back to the folders. Sorry for this. Now, let's say you gave them extras. Obviously, as a teacher, you need keys for those extras, and we have them. Here you got key per each, answer key per each vocabulary extra from each unit that you have given to your students. Will save you time on checking the assignments. So yeah, now let's go back and see what else. Then now we got another. Let me see if I've told you everything about vocabulary or not. Yeah, as far as I know, let me just check, double check on this. What is this extra for? This is for the writing. We'll come back to it later. Now, okay, let's talk about testing system. Might come back. No, actually, second. So let's finish with extras, not to confuse you. So this folder is all about speaking, pre-intermediate, writing, reference, extras. So let's see. For every unit, again, we have a writing section, and these are the extras for that section, if you need them. And plus, apart from this, you have the answer key, obviously, for the same thing. Yeah, it's just this one. Yeah, will be again useful if you want to use this. Now, what else? Moving on. Obviously, we got CDs per each lesson for the listening, and we have DVDs, and we got here you have, I think this one. Okay, this is all the audios we have for this book. Yeah, let me just double check. Yeah, these are the videos and audios. You also have DVD clip worksheets. What is this? In the book, again, after, let me just show you a book and something about the book, because maybe I'm talking and certain things are not clear for you. So the book itself is divided, as I said, into 12 units, but every unit has subunits. For example, unit 1 has 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4, 4 sections, and we call them subunits. And each section teaches certain topics. For example, for unit 1.1, it's feeling good. And for unit 1.2, it's true love. And yeah, so on and so forth. But once you reach to unit 1.4, this is all about video that it covers. Let me show you. So this one, yes. Here it says it's BBC videos, specially made for the Speak Out editions. And the book itself, student book, has its own exercises, both in the language that they're using in video. Apart from that, some topic-based exercises, sometimes, rarely, grammar points, and you may have vocabularies as well. Let me see. Yeah, for example, this one, we have some key phrases that we have learned. So some writing, exercises, additional listening, and so on. But now, why I have showed you this one, let me go back to our resource again. So here, apart from all what you've seen for the DVDs, you also have this folder with extras, worksheets for those DVDs. Again, it comes accordingly from unit 1 until unit 12. It covers every single unit that you have there. And plus, you will have access to the answer key for those DVD extras. Now, moving onwards. So we've talked about additionals. Now, there's one thing that our teachers, rarely they use in their lessons, but I believe I found personally them very useful. And I hope that you guys will be using it. Let me show you what is this. These are audio scripts, and they are very useful in teaching certain skills. For example, when I teach, I really, if it's listening, for me, it's not just listening. I believe in integrated approach, meaning while you teach listening, at the same time, you can teach grammar, writing, vocabulary, and reading. For me, there's no one single skill approach. I believe that when all the skills are integrated, correlated, it has more positive outcomes for the students and for the class itself. So it's more productive, I would say. Let's put it this way. So why I use this audio scripts? So basically, let's say you're teaching certain grammar, for example, question forms in this case scenario. So while they're doing this activity, at the meantime, you can pick a student, you can tell them that, okay, did you notice any pattern among these sentences? What's the common pattern? He or she would say, okay, teacher, I think they have a common feature, like they all are questions, and they'll say, okay, what was the question that today we have covered? Let's say you've taught them how to do general question, how to make up general questions, or how to make up WH questions, and so on. So teacher will have a chance to draw the attention of their students to the same topic that they have covered recently from grammar, and it will be quite this. I call it like active listening, not passive listening. Passive listening usually happens when you just give the task, they listen to it, and then they do exercises accordingly. So yeah, this was the audio, and I found it very useful, and I'll show you once I'll teach you, or teach is the wrong word, but when I'll be showing you how to do one unit from beginning to the end. And now let's talk about the testing system. No, before that, we also have podcasts. Here you got the videos. I mean, like if you want to go and try them, you can try them from there. Now, I think I've covered almost everything that I could cover. Just this folder is left. Yes, these are the audios. And yeah, so let's go to the test part. Now, in the test part, for each unit, we have certain tests, but the first file that I've just opened for you, it actually gives you detailed overview of testing materials that book covers. So let's go over them step by step. So it says there is one-page unit test for each unit of the pre-intermediate student. We call them in our course quick checks. It covers vocabulary, grammar, functional language, and etc. They're usually short and are designed to give both teachers and students immediate feedback. So basically, that's why we call them quick checks. Now, you also have the 4-page achievement test. These ones are usually also covering certain units, but which units? Usually after every 3 units of student book. Also very important test. Now they are more extensive compared to unit tests or quick checks tests, and because they cover not only the materials that you got there, but they also have some. They also include reading, listening, and writing section. You don't have them in your quick check tests. Now, moving onwards, we got midterm course test, and we have end of the course test. This test usually cover, they are almost, they suit the exams like Cambridge English testing exam. I mean, key, preliminary, first, and advanced. So they are very similar to that. And again, they are a bit more detailed or extensive than other two tests. It says they also contain test types from the Cambridge English main suit exams. Exam key, if you're familiar with that one. Now, test administration, like how you should actually approach them, what you should do. Unit tests, or the ones that we call quick tests, should be done within 15 up until 30 minutes. This time can actually vary based on the levels that you're teaching. For example, if it's elementary or beginner level, obviously you got to spend 50 minutes to this. If it is pre-intermediate, intermediate, or upper intermediate, your students should spend 30 minutes to do that test. Now, then we have achievement tests. For them, they should spend 90 or 120 minutes. The mid and end of course test covers, like it should take 90 until 120 minutes. And marking and grading, there's detailed information in every single answer. Usually it says here, most test specific points. Students have to give the correct answer to get full marks. However, flexibility is built in so that the credit can be given to answers that are not only universally correct. Now, if you want to read this in details, please feel free to do so. Let me check if there's anything left that I didn't tell you about. So I've talked about test folder. Yes. I've talked about extras, vocabulary, almost all the materials that I was planning to tell you, I've talked. Now, I'm gonna just here, well, in the chat box, I will leave my mail address. So please feel free to contact me if you will have any questions, just in case. Yeah. Or one of the administration members will be happy to help you. Thank you for joining me. I hope these resources will be helpful in your teaching process. Goodbye.